Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news in terms of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have any question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now I am using a new camera, a little bit of a newer setup here, so let me know what you think. Let me know if the audio is okay, how is the whole thing sounding, and without further ado, we'll get to the first big news topic of the day. So, this is something that is really interesting, and again, it just goes to show you that there is a lasting effect of 2020 that has not recovered yet. And this is the latest victim. The Galaxy S21 FE has not gone into production yet, has not even started. None of the things are even coming in right now. So that is really important to note because they should be. If it was going to be launching at the same time in Samsung Unpacked, it would already be starting to be produced, but it's not. So what that really is looking like it's going to be now is that it's looking like we are going to either get a very much delayed S21 FE, as in September, October, possibly even November launch. So very far back from what Samsung typically does with this series, or it just will be canceled altogether. Now, I want to stress this out, and this is, does Samsung need the S21 FE this year? I don't believe it's as necessary because the S21 was price corrected. See, the S20 did not do well in sales at all because they drove up the price $200 more than the year before. This past year, they course corrected and they put it back down to the price it was 2 years ago for the S10, S10 Plus, and what would now be the Ultra model. So that being said, this has been course corrected. So do we need the S21 FE? The S20 FE was by far the best selling S20 because it was priced correctly. Now, we were hearing rumors just last week that the S21 FE was going to go down as far as up to 600 price point, and that was just like, yes, if it's that kind of price point, I think it would definitely attract a lot of people to it. But if they can't produce it, if it's going to cause too much of a strain on them right now, then that is a possibility right now. It looks like pretty much most of it is because where they manufacture parts for the A series is not the same as where they manufacture parts for the S series. The S series is mostly manufactured in Korea and in the US. However, the A series is mostly manufactured in Vietnam, and they have a spike of the whole thing right now, of course, with the pandemic still going on there. And it's gotten worse there right now. So because of that, they are again getting delays and delays, so much so that we haven't really seen the levels that we would even want to see for the A52 and A72 yet. Like, it's still not where they would want it to be. So because of that, it is entirely possible that we will not get the Galaxy S21 FE. If we do get it, you can expect it more at the end of September, early October, and even when it comes in, it will have low numbers in terms of the supply compared to what the S20 FE had last year. So yeah, just all this kind of stuff really is something that's very interesting, but definitely we'll see what works out from it. That's the biggest thing, is that what will happen is the very curious factor. Now, speaking of the other devices, we now have a launch date for, or at least Samsung Unpacked date for the next devices. And that is 8/3. So August 3rd will be the Unpacked event for the Galaxy Fold 3, Galaxy Flip 3, and the two Galaxy 4 watches, Galaxy Watch Active 4 and Galaxy Watch 4. All of those will be announced on August 3rd. And as of right now, we're hearing that the launch date itself will be August 27th. So that is right now, that's what we're hearing. Now, there is a caveat to this. The 13th is supposed to be when the watches launch. So the watches will be the following week, basically. The 3rd is a Tuesday, the 13th, that following Friday, so not the same week, but the week after, will be the launch of the watches, and the phones will be effectively 4 weeks after the announcement. So all of that seems plausible. I can see why they're not building up a 2-week gap, which is what they normally have. Normally they have a 2 to 3 week gap. This is a 4-week gap. And again, I think it is because of multiple reasons. One, foldable devices are, hard to manufacture, and they're not manufacturing as many of them. But two, because of everything with the foldables, you are going to get, longer draw times because of these processors and the fact that they have to change assembly lines in order to make these. So we'll really have to see, but from everything we're hearing, we even heard it from Mullet Baby last week on the leaks, that it definitely looks like if you want a Fold 3 or a Flip 3, you better pre-order it, or else you could wait as long as a month or longer for delays after the pre-order launch. So just letting you know that, as you guys know, I probably will not be I probably, if I get the Flip 3, I probably will return it. I'm not planning on keeping that device. The Fold 3, I'm not planning on keeping that device. The Flip 3, I could keep as a secondary device. I'm debating on that right now, but definitely curious to see how that will go. Let me know what you guys think. Which phone are you interested, or are you more interested in the new watches? I'm very interested in the new watches. Again, I will be trading in my Galaxy Watch 3 for the Galaxy Watch 4 because obviously it is the newer software. Samsung's going to give probably a really good trade-in for that. So I'm definitely going for that for sure. All right. Now, in the court battle, I know we haven't talked about it as much, but the Apple Epic battle, we're waiting to hear everything that comes out of it, once verdicts are reached. But one thing that did actually recently come up is Apple favoring their own systems over third parties that are actually more popular than theirs. And this is a big no-no because, of course, they are favoring their own product over the actual one that's very popular in order to try to keep, basically, of course, a monopoly on everything for storage and other components. So what they were called out for in the court was that basically data shows that they actually favored iCloud over Dropbox, which actually was more popular than iCloud. And even though it was, they were ranking iCloud above it to basically try to get people, oh no, use our stuff more so. And that is definitely a no-no. They cannot do that anymore for sure. And they had to admit to that part. So very curious to see how it will go when it comes to that. But that is something I think pretty big, or pretty epic rather, that was found out in the court, that they actually have done this. It's verified. So it'll be very curious to see how it goes overall with that. And speaking of other courts, it is really, really looking like some lawmakers, and I'm not going to go into the senators and all that kind of stuff that are trying to do it, but basically they are really trying to break up the big four. That is being heavily talked about right now, and that is Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is because some of these can work separately, but Apple and Google, for instance, are so integrated that it would be hard to break them up. Facebook, very easy to break up. Break up WhatsApp and Instagram, and you have a more level playing field. So I think that Facebook is probably the easiest to break up and to demonopolize the whole experience. Amazon. Amazon's a very interesting one because how would you break them up? Well, one of the big things that you could spin off is Amazon Prime. You know, everyone has a streaming service now. The thing about Amazon Prime, though, splitting up, if that does indeed happen, is if Amazon Prime splits up, you have to wonder how many people would actually subscribe to Amazon Prime Video if it doesn't come free with Amazon regular Prime. So that one is a curious thing, but that one definitely would help Amazon, like Amazon would like, what? Look, we're breaking up this part of it. Google's very hard because what do you split up from Google? Do you split up YouTube? Does YouTube go off on its own thing away from Google? But the search of YouTube and Google is so seamless. It's so integrated. They are the two most popular searches on the internet. Google's first, then YouTube, and then I think it switches between Facebook and Amazon following in terms of searches on the internet. What people search most for, first Google, then YouTube, then I believe it's Facebook and Amazon unless they've switched again. Apple. How do you break Apple up? Do you break off their services? I think that would be the easiest thing, right? Like break off services from the hardware. That would be the easiest thing. It's what Microsoft does. It's what every other computer company does. So it would be a very interesting thing, you know, to do that. Or could we actually see iOS software on a Samsung? Well, we already see it on a Samsung hardware, but like a Samsung phone. Like, that would be very interesting if that were to be broken up. So, will this happen? We don't know. If it does happen, you can believe it's going to take 3 to 5 years before all this would be said and done. Because, of course, they would fight breaking up. They would fight whether or not monopoly. They would try to spin off smaller segments. But this is really big because, obviously, these are the big four out in, and they've just become the biggest tech companies out there. Again, Facebook and Amazon, I think you can easily break up more easily. Google and Apple, though, are very difficult and tricky to break up. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What would you think which company do you think should break up? And which company do you think will break up? Those are two different things. Should break up and will break up. Let me know. And again, no political aspect of it, but just let me know who you think should and who you think will. Okay, and speaking of the delays, one tablet that I have been waiting for actually has been the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE. Now this FE model was already announced, I believe it was Germany officially already, but we have not heard about it yet for the US. It was originally supposed to launch in June, so we're like, what's going on? Like we can't even pre-order it yet. And then the A7 Lite was able to pre-order, but now it's not, and then it is. It keeps going back and forth. The actual site where you can click on the A7 Lite for the US has gone down and up because I've actually tried to thought about buying that one too. But the FE is such an important one because I am really contemplating on, you know, my daughter, she has a Huawei tablet. It's not obviously getting updates like it used to. So I'm honestly debating like, okay, what tablet should I get her later on in the year, right? And, you know, should I get her Galaxy S6 Lite? Or should I just wait for the Tab S7 FE? Or should I get her old Tab 6? There's all these different possibilities right now. And this is one of the ones I was really interested in because obviously it's a really great tablet, big screen for low price. Very curious about how that will go. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is this a tablet you're really looking forward to? Are you looking forward to the Tab S8 Ultra? That's another big one for sure. That one I'm very curious about because I'm very curious if I can actually go from a 12-point-inch, which I've loved, to a 14-inch tablet. That's just crazy. But I might be crazy enough to get it. All right, guys, that was the news for today. Let me know what you guys think about it, and I'm going to start answering your questions, so make sure to start asking them in the comment section down below. I am assuming that the audio has been good. since no one's commented on it. And I know the voice actual tracking is perfect now compared to what it was. So I'm very happy about that with this new camera setup. For those of you guys who are wondering, I'm actually filming with the camera that's gone on sale a lot, and definitely wait for not Black Friday, Amazon Prime Day, which we will be covering both days, Amazon Prime Day. This is such a great camera. It's a Sony ZV-1, but it got an update so you can connect it through USB and use it as a webcam. It is really good for this kind of capability, and it makes it so I have my HDMI plugin separate for my G8, and I honestly just might get another ZV-1 for other shots, because the quality has been really good. I've been very happy with it, and the capability is rock solid. So yeah, that is the new camera that I'm using, and it's a webcam setup directly through USB instead of what I was using before was a capture card. All right. So on the S21 FE cancellation or late delay on it, it'll probably come later, question mark. I think it's a possibility of both, right? I do think that we very well could see a cancellation because Samsung might be like, do we need it? Aren't our sales doing good? Our sales are still, going well. So do we need it? I could see them saying that no, we don't need it. But do they? I mean, it's gonna depend on a lot of the hype going into iPhones, quite frankly. I think if the iPhones get a lot of hype, I think Samsung will definitely kind of, say that we do need it. We can't hold back anymore. But that's going to be tough because how long would they wait to manufacture? Would they wait till August, or will they wait till September? Because that will obviously delay the launch. So they can't announce it and not have manufactured at least some of it already. Again, there have been outbreaks in Vietnam, and that's why it's delayed further. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes when it comes to it. But yeah, that's the reason why it's been delayed, and it's pushed back even further than anyone expected a week ago. Okay, nice intro. I'm glad you guys liked the intro. I actually debuted it on the last video. I kind of had some issues with it on the live stream, but I'm glad you guys liked it. I may have to redo the audio for the outro. We do have a new outro as well. So I might have to redo the audio for that one though, but lots of new things coming. Been working on that intro for a little while now. I'm glad you guys like it, and definitely we'll have lots of new things. Again, I'm trying to focus as much time. That is why I didn't have as many videos over the last 2 weeks. That intro, that 7-second intro, took forever to make. Find the right song, not copyright music, all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot to make a little 7-second thing perfect. iOS 15 is amazing. I've heard really good things about it, the fluidity of it, everything of it. The more curiosity of iOS and the new Android as well, I'm testing out the new Android on my Pixel 5, I'm really more so seeing how many things will be adopted, how many things will keep going. But yeah, I will say even with the privacy on the Pixel is really heightened for everything they ask you for. So yeah, it's going to be kind of curious to see how companies try to get around it. I think there was this one company that I saw on Twitter, like someone screenshotted it, and I think it was ESPN. The ESPN app said, you basically can't play us if we do not know where you are, because we need to know where you are in order for you to play us. So that was a very interesting thing, because it's like, you're not supposed to do that, but yet they are doing that. And so it's interesting. It's interesting how it's going. Very curious to see how that'll go around. And yes, web links for FaceTime app. That was the biggest thing. If you didn't know, we did a video live for Apple's launch event, and Apple copyright claimed it. Copyright claimed it, though, not only to get the money from it, but to take it down from YouTube. They actually took it down from YouTube. Apple did. So it's Apple. It's what it is. Next time for Apple events, so when the new iPhone is announced, I will not be having their video up at all, basically. That's the only way we can kind of get around it, because if they copyright claim it again, it's no real point. It's, I think, BS, quite frankly, but it's Apple, you know, it is what it is. I'm hearing the first half of the S21 cell was good, but it's slowed down, that it's not that good. I've seen Samsung's site, and the only unlocked phone, 128, 256, no 512 can that be a reason? It's definitely, they're going to produce what's selling more. So yeah, the 512 might be out of stock because they're prioritizing 128 and 256 because those are selling more. So yeah, they're definitely going to prioritize what sells more over what doesn't. And I really don't see the 512 for the S21 and the S21 Plus selling that much at all, quite frankly. So I think the only one they're going to have the 512 for, if anything, is going to be definitely the Ultra. Because, you know, if people are buying the best Samsung, they might be buying the best storage for it. But yeah, so that's really what I see in terms of it. Again, it just is that there's such a shortage on processors, on graphics cards, on conductors. All these things are such a shortage that all these companies, and even Apple is really does not have a lot of phones to sell in stores. Like the belt has tightened around so much around smartphone inventory that smaller companies like Metro, Cricket, and all these other ones really do not have a lot of phones in their stores right now. Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T, of course, get first dibs. But even some of them, if they're not a high-selling store, they'll have to order it right now. It is that much of a delay overall, for sure. So yeah, so that being said, it's just, that is what we're looking at right now. So that's why if a 512 model isn't selling, they will, okay, we don't need to focus on that right now. Let's just focus on the ones that are selling the most and the ones we can turn out the most. I have the Samsung Galaxy A71 5G. It has all the different camera modes. Have you done a video on the different camera modes? Not on the A71. I did one on the A52. That was the only A series I reviewed. I was testing it out to see how well it did. It hasn't done that well for a video, the types of videos I do, including on the cameras and on the tips and tricks, as I would like. So I don't know if I'll get another A series phone. It could be, again, because they're not selling as many, but that is one thing that I'm just not sure if I'll get another A series phone because of how well the views did, unfortunately. I'm debating on the Tablet 8 Ultra, but it's thin, and the keyboard, how much better will it be? I mean, the keyboard I expect a lot of, because the keyboard, I never liked or recommended the keyboards on the 10-inch tablets, but this keyboard is so good that I easily recommend it to anyone. Like if you're buying the Tab S7 Plus, this keyboard is awesome. It really is as big as like a normal size keyboard. Let me try to put this up. So this is my regular keyboard. And you can see it's pretty much the size of a regular keyboard. So a 14-inch, I don't know what we're gonna see with that. I don't know if we're gonna see some arrow keys more further to the side. I definitely think it can be improved, don't get me wrong. Samsung has media keys that you have to hit the function button for, and really they should just be the media keys by default, and then function should be for F1, F2, F3, F4. They kind of got it backwards, so that's one thing I hope they fix with the next keyboard, but I really cannot say enough good things about the keyboard in terms of the quality of typing and being able to type out stuff. It's great. It's very close to a laptop feel for the keyboard on the Tab S7 Plus, so I only expect the 8 Ultra to be better, but the main thing you should know about the keyboards cases is they are expensive. So definitely they usually give you a deal for half off the normal price of the keyboard case when you buy it with the tablet. So definitely, if you're thinking about buying the keyboard case, even thinking about it, buy it with the tablet, and then if you don't end up liking it, return it. But that way you get it at a discounted price instead of thinking of, oh, I'll buy it later, and then you're paying the full price for it. I'm waiting for the Tab 8, maybe even the Ultra, not sure yet. I understand, again, I think I would have to go for the Ultra just because I'd want to see how it is, but definitely curious on it. Hey, Ricky, I'll just join, trying to get through what I missed. I don't think they need the S21 FE, by the way. Yeah, it's some people don't think it is, for sure. It's definitely a possibility. Let's see. It's Apple. That's all I have to say. That's all I will say. Yeah. Oh God, what was that quote? For anyone that watched it live, I was like, I said something that a lot of people liked, and they kept repeating it on the comment section, and then Apple took it down. But it was something like, it was something like, even Bixby did that already. Apple, even Bixby. It was something like that, but it was just something that like so many people copied on that video. I just found it hilarious, and Apple took it down. I guess that was just one jab too many. Apple couldn't take it. They were like, Psh, he's calling us out for even Bixby having these features. Jesus, take this down. Yeah, but also, not sure if you mentioned at the beginning, hopefully the interview went well. The interview is basically like a scam kind of company. Pyramid scheme plus it's one of those things where you only get paid, so you don't get an hourly wage, you don't get a salary. You only get paid per commission. So yeah, wasn't a good interview. It was a group interview too. It's so even in a group interview, I will say it's funny because no one wanted to talk, so I was the only one talking, and then I was interested in that kind of job. So I found it funny because I'm like, none of these other people talked. I was the one talking, and then yeah, it was just the whole thing. So unfortunately, it did not go well. Hey Ricky, my Apple TV works great on the projector, but my Fire Stick is blinking on and off on the projector. Any idea what's happening? Is the power supply, how are you powering the Fire Stick? Is it actually from a regular wall outlet, or are you using the projector's USB? Because sometimes the wattage isn't enough on the USB. That could be one thing. Another thing could be obviously restarting it to make sure that the Fire Stick has a restart button. I showed my mom that recently because her Fire Stick was acting up. Same with my mother-in-law's actually too. I don't have a Fire Stick, but I have Google TV, and that messes up sometimes every once in a while too. Like the audio just stops working, so I just reset it and then it works. But yeah, try those things off the top of my head. That's things that come to mind for sure. Hey, MX Keys. I'm looking good at one of those. Could you do a Tech Deals episode on any sales for those? The keys, I will look out for it. Sometimes Staples has it on sale because they'll have a 20% off coupon for any accessory in store that's like under 150 bucks. So all of the Logitech stuff is the ones you go for at that time. The MX Master 3 or the MX Keys, I really do love these. It's just such good quality. I am an instant buy every time a new one comes out because I really, really do love the quality. And I didn't have any problems with my old one. I had the K800, I think, keyboard before, but this keyboard is just so good. I will still never forget on the last one I got, which again I think was the K800. My friend, who's way faster typer than me, I was like, dude, I really feel like I type faster with this keyboard. And he's like, no, you don't. And as he's typing on it and kind of feeling like, and then he's like, actually, I think you're right. And it was just the right keyboard can really improve your typing, just because it's just so perfect. I'm not a true believer in the mechanical keyboards. I like the style better, but I understand gamers and I understand that I like the click. I like the click on mechanical keyboards, but I like this better, quicker for me to type in at least. Have you tried Amazon Prime Photos as a replacement for Google Photos? No, I have not, but I will see about it. As far as I know, Amazon Photos isn't like unlimited photos, and again, if I'm paying for a service, I feel more secure with Google. And unless Amazon Photos has a much better pricing, that's the main thing I would look out for. But yeah, I've never gone into Amazon Photos. I know it exists, but yeah, so all customers get 5 gigs of free storage, and it's $2 for 100 gigs. So this is the same price as Google. So personally, I would actually go with Google. It's the same exact price as Google Photos. So I would go with Google over Amazon. That's my opinion. I think Amazon's the closest in terms of server quality to Google, just because they do a phenomenal job at that. But I just don't think you can beat Google Photos in terms of all the organization they have, in terms of the quality they have, and again, it's the same price. So unless Amazon was cheaper price, I wouldn't consider it. I always love the Logitech stuff, definitely for sure. Did you mention Prime Day coming up? I missed the first 15 minutes. Yes, Prime Day is coming up. I think it's the 21st and 22nd. I know they should have it on the front page, right? Amazon Prime Day deals. Yeah, 21st and 22nd are Prime Day deals. So I believe that is a Monday and a Tuesday. So yes, Amazon Prime Day, we will be going live on Monday morning and Tuesday morning. And we'll be updating the deals as it goes along. But I just like to do a little intro video. So yes, I think... I don't know. As of right now, I think I would do a midnight video just because it's always how we've done it before. So I'll do a midnight video for Amazon Prime Day and just do it throughout the day, just like we used to do. So basically, I'll update it every 6 hours, and that will replace obviously the weekly tech deals. Do it all throughout the day on the 21st, and then on the 22nd, the Tuesday, we'll do another video just to catch up on the latest deals for that day. And yeah, hopefully if you guys do anything you buy on Prime Day, click one of our links first, and it will really help us out. Yeah, because again, I'm still looking for interviews for jobs, but as the longer it goes, money gets tighter, of course. So would appreciate anything you buy on Prime Day. If you click one of our links, it'll really help me out. Well then, I believe it's a lovely time to remind YouTubers about Xander's World, great sub, and Ricky High Voice. Yes, I have been slacking on my son's channel actually, so Xander's World will be updated this week. I'm gonna try to schedule it out so it's 2 weeks, and you'll be seeing my son will finally make his debut on his videos in the next 2 weeks, so that will be happening as well. What is the best HP laptop computer? So that is very tricky to answer because the best computer is very different for you, for me, for my wife, you know, my brother. Like everyone has a different preference on terms of what they need in a computer. For me, I would need an Omen computer from HP. Omens are the graphics powered, hungry, you know, ones that I could edit video on, that I could do everything on. For like my daughter, my wife, they would prioritize lightweight. So the lighter, the better, you know, easy to take around, Ultrabook for sure. For my brother, he just likes basics, you know, he needs 16 gigs of RAM, but probably can get away with an i5 processor, doesn't need an i7. So those are the kind of things, it just depends on the person, really overall when it comes to that. So it just depends on the person on which HP laptop you would want to get for what you need. Let me know if I don't get to it in this video. I'll try to make it a part of Tech Deals tomorrow and try to see which HPs would be good for what your needs are. And also price point is always a thing, of course, because, you know, I could mention a $500 laptop that might not be really what you're looking for, but maybe a $600 laptop would be everything you're looking for, or maybe $800 laptop or $1,000 laptop. It all depends on that, of course, as well. Fire stick was plugged into a power strip, so yeah, I would probably say try resetting it. I'm not sure what exactly it would be for sure. We'll be looking out for Prime Day deals, but my wallet might not be. I totally understand that for sure. What are your thoughts on Marvel Academy at Disneyland? So, funny thing about that. I wanted to go for my birthday to Disneyland and California Adventure. In doing so, I spoiled a surprise that my wife apparently for Father's Day that week, later on that week, so the 24th, I believe. I think it's like a Thursday. I will be going there, so I will actually be checking it out and seeing how it goes. I might be reviewing those spider bots too that you can buy from there. And just because I think it's a really fun thing. You have to buy 2 of them though, so you can battle them. But yeah, so really cool in that aspect. I might spend way too much money. But yeah, so I'm probably going to go there so that week for Father's Day. I'm going to go to California Adventure, check out Marvel's area, and then I'll finally go to Star Wars land on my birthday probably, which is September 1st. So yeah, that's where I'm looking at right now. But the Marvel Academy looks cool. It's smaller though, so like that's what everyone's saying. Like temper your expectations because it's not like a whole land like how if you've ever been to Disneyland, it's not like a Tomorrowland. Like it's a whole thing. That's what Galaxy's Edge is for Star Wars. It's 14 acres. This Marvel Land is 4 acres, so much smaller. You have basically the Ant-Man or Pym food place. You have one ride, the Spider-Man one, and then you have like 2 stores, I think. But that's basically it. So we'll see how it goes, but that's basically kind of what we're looking at right now. What's a great computer for 2 gig speeds? I'm not sure what you mean by, because you can't mean 2 gigs of RAM, right? You can't mean 2 gigs of RAM. Or you mean 2 gigahertz maybe? Did you mean GH instead of GB? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Let me know. LOL, we can't get the overpriced Apple PC stand for April Fool's Tech deals. No, we can't. We can't spend $1,000 to get an Apple stand. No. Why can't Samsung or Google come up with a challenger to Imessage? That's a great question, Craig. It is actually because of their own fault. Both Samsung and Google have said they don't want to create an iMessage because of the carriers. They feel that the carriers could not carry their phone or that they could damage the relationship. And for me, that is such a BS reason because Apple did it, and so what kind of thing. So I think that Samsung specifically has enough power and has enough clout to just be like, well, we have our own instant messaging service. That's it. And I totally believe that they do that. Now, to be fair, both companies have had iMessage competitors early on. They just never synced up the way that iMessage did perfectly as iOS did. What do I mean by that? Samsung had chat on. It was an orange icon back in the S3 and S2 days. I think it was gone by the S4. Like they had already abandoned it at that point. But it could replace it could basically be your text messenger, and it was an instant messenger, and it had stickers at a time way before Apple and iMessage did. It had, like, you could send quick video. Like, it was just a better text messenger than anything out at the time, but no one used it because Samsung didn't make it the default. They just made it part of their bloatware package, right? Like, oh, these are all apps on here. And so everyone just deleted it before ever using it. So Chat On was Samsung's first attempt. Google has had many attempts at an iMessage kind of thing. Hangouts is still the best version, but they stripped it back. Hangouts at one point did do your text messaging, did do your instant messaging, and was basically FaceTime as well because it had the ability to do video calling all in one. So it was literally like an iMessage and a FaceTime all in one. And you could use Google Voice with it too. So you could call someone through Wi-Fi calling, only using your data. Like, Hangouts was perfect. Then they ramped it back because they were going to introduce this new one called Allo, which died like within a year, I think, of it launching. And they created Allo and Duo because they wanted to separate Hangouts, basically. Duo is still around as the default, but now they're trying to get rid of Duo with Google Meet as well. And then Hangouts has still always been there because it's the best still. But Google has Messages as well. So why can't they do a challenger to iMessage? Because they are afraid of the carriers, and the carriers have asked them not to. Why do they care? I mean, I honestly think Samsung could be like, okay, we'll pull every phone we have. And although that might sound dangerous, like Verizon's like, fine, pull every phone. You're not going to be at Verizon. Do you know how much money Verizon would lose too? Like, Verizon would lose a lot of money. Like, AT&T would lose a lot of money. T-Mobile would never do it. T-Mobile would absolutely side with Samsung on this. But yes, that's the main problem for sure. Let's see. RCS messages on T-Mobile. When I switched from Sprint SIM to T-Mobile, I don't receive RCS anymore. And that is crazy, Warren. I think you told me that like a couple weeks ago. And yeah, it's a very interesting thing why that happened, because technically that shouldn't happen. The phone is the same phone. What did you have? I forget what phone you had, but I think it was like the S9 and up have all been the same phone. So basically, when you put in a new SIM card, it's supposed to take out the Sprint stuff and put on the T-Mobile stuff. And it definitely happened with the S10 and definitely happened with the S20. So it's been going on, I think, since the S8, I want to say, maybe even. It's been the same phone as an unlocked phone. It's just as soon as you put the carrier SIM in it, it puts their bloatware on it. But so I don't know why the RCS isn't, but text messaging is something that's always been a tricky thing, and it's carrier's own fault. Like, carriers are the ones that hamper the phones, because of course, if you get an unlocked phone, you can take it to any carrier and everything should work, unless they try to make it not work. So that's always the problem with it for sure. Whitestone dome glass warranty process. Is it an easy process? I've never had to go through it, just because obviously I am lucky enough to every 6 months is when I, get a new phone typically. So because of that, I have not gone through the warranty process myself. But I mean, I'm assuming it's like Zags, which is pretty easy. They don't have any stores, which would be even easier. But yeah, basically you would have to most likely ship back the glass screen protector and get a new one shipped to you, and that's how it would go. I expect it to. But again, I have not used it, so just take that with a grain of salt. Google Defense Google Messages is really getting better. I've been using it a while now on Android 12. It's supposed to get even better. I loved Allo and Duo so much. I never used Allo because for me it was just like, why am I splitting these two up? Hangouts has both. Hangouts literally has both. So it never made sense to me to split them up. It was basically like, who wouldn't want iMessage and FaceTime together? Like, it just seems like, oh yeah, you know, on the app, you can just click video right there or phone right there and immediately have a voice call or a video call in your instant messenger. It's so much better than everything. Hashtag Hangouts, best besides Rigsby, for sure. I have Google Fiber. Speeds up to got it, 2 gigs now. Yeah. Are there any computers that go at that speed? None that I know of. Usually 1 is the top. I'm sure there are some out there, but none that I know of off the top of my head. And it's not something that's as well advertised because such few people have it. I'm very jealous, Shaft, but not that I know of off the top of my head, no. It's something that you literally have to try to find, you really have to probably find that one because it's such a niche. When iMessage first came out, I believe it still does. The carrier had specifically the features of the service of iPhone messages. Yeah, so just, again, it's such BS, I think, yeah, but it is what it is. Where should I take my Galaxy S20 to repair its cracked screen and cracked back panel? I don't know. Obviously, depending on where you live, it's going to be a big difference. But Ubreak iFix is a place that they have lots of locations in the U.S. and they are certified Samsung repair service. At least as of last year. So I'm assuming there still are. But the reason why you want to take it to a Samsung certified repair place instead of mom and pop shop over here is because if you replace the glass on an S20 at a mom and pop shop, you lose your waterproofing. So that's the very important thing to know. Unless it's a Samsung certified location for repair, you're going to lose your waterproofing. So be very careful with that. Carriers obviously are Samsung certified to do that, as well as you can try to go to a Best Buy and they can start the process for you. You still have to ship it yourself, but they can start the process for you typically. I have an Android phone. It's better to use Hangouts instead of regular messaging. Yeah, I have always used Hangouts. Still the closest people to me, I message them on Hangouts because it's just better. Let's see. Hey, bro. What's up, Vortex? Yes, Whitestone warranty was easy, great company. Cool. So David has said it's pretty easy, so that's good. I'm not sure what that's saying, so I'm just going to remove that. All right. So yeah, guys, we will start wrapping up. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, but Tech Deals will be tomorrow. It might be a little bit later. Tech Deals might be a little bit later just because my wife does have an appointment in the morning, so I'm going to probably do it a little bit later. So it might be a little bit later in the day, just so you know. But yeah, other videos are definitely coming out. I'm going to actually try to upload a video tonight, so we'll have one in the morning, and then Tech Deals will be later in the day for all the deals. But again, message me on Twitter, message me after this video is aired if you want any specific tech deals, or the easiest one is always on the Tech Deals video. I check every single comment on that video. Message me what you want to see for next week Tech Deals, and I literally take anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes to make sure that I can find those deals for you guys. But yeah, other than that being said, I think that we'll call it a night. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. We do have some stuff we are reviewing and some stuff that I was happy to review and then it kind of sucked. So yeah, I that's the thing. I will never share something with you guys that I don't think is good. Like, there are some products and companies you might have seen me and I do not cover them when other tech YouTubers do. And it's because I don't recommend them. So yeah, it's just some things that are like, whoa, yeah. When's the release date for the Tabs 8? No release date yet. They might be announced alongside with the phones in August, but more than likely they'll actually be announced at IFA, which is in September. I believe usually the first week of September. So that's when it will probably be announced for the tablets. All right, guys, and 51st date questions. I totally forgot about that. Let's see. 51st Date Questions is the app that I created. If you can, go ahead and download it on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Really fun date night game for you and your significant other, and definitely if you are on a first date, you will have a great icebreaker and a great time. Find out if you guys are compatible, and it really does wonders. 51st Date Questions is, again, in the links in the description down below, so make sure to download it and make sure to give us 5 stars. It really helps out. All right, guys. Yeah, IFA is the first week of September. So yeah, we will. The one thing I didn't mention, and we'll find out, right? But is the new Samsung Unpacked event in August 3rd? Is it going to be in person? Like what? Like, is it? I don't know. That thought crossed my mind because, you know, Apple was obviously not in person. So I was very curious, like, are they going to be in person this year? Very curious on that. Will I be going to New York? Will I be going to San Francisco? Have to wait and see. All right, guys. Thank you always so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also, follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy, and check out some more great tech videos on your screen or right